Oh, yeah.
Haha, Stickball Sports!
And here we...
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
It's finally here. The NFL draft is upon us. For something that's been feeling like it's been taking a year, it's finally here. I mean, obviously, due to all the current events that are going on in the world, this has felt like the longest few months of my life. So here we are. The draft's upon us. It's today. Really excited about the prospects that the Giants might bring in. And I really wanted to talk about some of the sleepers that we might have in the later rounds to add to our ball club to see, what we could bring in here talent-wise. There's a lot of talent in this draft. And there's a lot of guys that are falling or just are looking as projects from, rounds 4, 5, and 6, 7 that we can pick up for a low cost and hopefully turn them into something with some good coaching. So obviously I've been busy looking at at the top of the draft who we're going to get, like everybody else. And I literally think it's going to be probably 3 people. I also want to add actually maybe 4. Andrew Thomas out of Georgia seems to be a real high riser. And the Giants have liked him all along. And that's the words I'm hearing. So I want to add him to that list of Wirfs, Thomas, and Wills that I think the Giants could go in that direction with the 4th overall pick. I also think that we might be able to trade down, which obviously we have to look at every avenue possible. So that's where I'm at. I also think obviously we can get Simmons, which is a no-brainer as well. And I'm not going to be upset. If they get Simmons or one of those offensive tackles, we can't be upset. I know an offensive tackle is not a GQ pick, meaning it's not a Hollywood pick. It's not going to be in lights. It's not like Saquon Barkley, breaking 13 tackles and running for a touchdown. Like, he's not going to be that type of player. He's going to be meat and potatoes. He's not going to be flashy, most likely, but he's going to get the job done, and he's going to make our team better. And that's what this is all about. The draft is just about making our team better and filling the holes that we have. So let's look at some of the players that, that nobody's really talking about, but could become big-time players for us down the road. Let's take a look at it.
Boy, have you lost your mind, because I'll help you find it. What you're looking for, ain't nobody going to help you out there. Jesus can come through that door and he's not going to help you.
Hey guys, all right, this is my first player I want to talk about, and that is Antonio Gibson. I'm going to pop up his bio right now. He's 6 foot, he's 228 pounds. Big guy. He's not just a wide receiver, though. He's a running back. He returns kicks. He does pretty much everything. He is a jack of all trades. I love this kid. I think we get him around the third round. 99 is where I'm projecting him, and I hope that he falls to us. He is a stud. He's only had 1 year, so the sample size is very limited, but in that 1 year, he had 14 touchdowns. And I'm talking about all different types of touchdowns. He came out of the slot. He was a wide receiver. He played the 1, the 2. He played the X. He played the O. He played running back. He returned kicks. He did a lot of different things for Memphis. And he tested really, really well. He ran in the combine a 4.38. So I think that when we talk about speed, he's going to add a lot of speed. But in that sample size, it's only been 1 year. But at 6 foot, 238 pounds, 228 pounds, mind you, he's a big dude. We're not talking about a little guy here. He's a big guy. I think that he has a chance to go in the 3rd round at 99 overall to us. He's definitely has the potential for us to select him. And I think it's time that we give Our wide receiver core, another pick here. I know Slayton did wonderful last year. I know we're looking good. We have Shepard under contract. He had a lot of concussions last year, something to really keep an eye on. And Golden Tate's getting older, he's in his 30s. So it's time to maybe look at bringing in a player like this that isn't going to cost us a really, really high-end pick, but brings an assortment of weapons under his tool belt. So I really like this player. And his strengths really, he just makes explosive plays. If you watch any of his tape, it's really explosive. Everything he does is explosive. Running away from guys, making guys look really stupid. He's just a really nice player. And I'd love to see what he does in the pros. So he also just gives a lot of matchup problems to the defense. You can see, obviously, when he has the ball in his hands, he's electrifying. But he's also creating a lot of matchup problems for that defense. Puts a lot of stress on the defense, and I don't think we have too many guys like that. I think the last person we really had on our team like that on the wide receiver position is Odell. Saquon does that. You can see guys running all over the place when Saquon comes out of the backfield because they don't know what's going on. Puts a lot of stress on the defense. So that's really a lot of his strengths. He runs a lot faster than it looks. A lot of scouts have said that. That's it's in 3 different scouts of the same thing, that he runs faster than it looks. And he really was a high school sprinter. So these are all things that are going to help him in the pros. So that's my first guy, Antonio Gibson, out of Memphis. All right, guys, this is the next guy I want to talk about is Jonah Jackson, out of the Ohio State. I have to say that or my wife would kill me. Yes, she is an Ohio State fan. I know it's brutal. But Jonah Jackson, let's get to him. He ran a 5.87 40 at the combine. Not great, not terrible. Obviously, he's 6'3", he's 306 pounds. He's got 33.5-inch arms and 10.5-inch hands. So, what does that tell us? His arms aren't really that big. That's what that says, number one. Secondly, I'm posting a lot of his combine results here. He did 28 on the bench press, his vertical jump, his broad jump, his 3-cone drill, and his 20-yard shuttle. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Jonah. I like him a lot. He was there at Rutgers for 4 years. He then decided to change schools for the final year of eligibility. Just staying in the Big Ten though. He then signed with Ohio State to compete for one of the 4 open jobs on the line. That's why he went to Ohio State, because they had a lot of offensive linemen that either graduated or were moving on to the pros. So I really like this kid. He brings a lot of intangibles. He's projected to go in the 5th or 6th round. So I think he's a great project for the Giants to bring in. Number one is he can kick into guard if he doesn't make it as a tackle. I think he'd be a great guard as well. He also has played in different positions along the line. Versatility, that word that Joe Judge used again. There's a lot to like about him. Yes, he might. His scouting report makes you think that he needs some coaching. I'm going to read some of it to you, but his overview as well, it just screams he needs some coaching. I believe if the Giants get him in their system, coach him up, this could be a very, very good player for us. The type of players that we talk, like David Deal type of player, guy that's with us for a long time. Really good, solid young player. So let me just read the overview, and I'll also post it for you as well. It's a guard center prospect. Obviously, I didn't mean to be saying tackle. He's obviously a center guard, but he can move around with that versatility. But he's not a tackle, so they say. But the prospects whose run blocking and pass protection on tape are polar opposites, meaning he's good. He's much better at one side of the ball than the other, meaning running versus passing. Let's keep in mind here that this isn't a superb athlete. Obviously, going in 5th or 6th round, he's going to have some blemishes, or he would be a first-round pick, right? But he's not a natural bender when it comes down to Jonah Jackson. He's a little stiff. So he's got some, if you look at some of his tape, which I have, you'll see exactly that. He's just a little stiff. He's really good, when it comes down to finishing his blocks. And he's got a lot of talent there. I think a lot of the scouts and a lot of his scouting reports are saying his hand placement. If scouts can change his hand placement and they can really change the way he places his feet on outside drives, they might have something there. He could be a 10-year starter. So there's a lot of things that moving pieces here that I feel like with Colombo on the Giants line, who's known as a wonderful coach, that I think that they could grab a guy like him and really train him up to be something. So I'm really impressed with the player himself. Really like Jonah Jackson. Think it could be a really good selection in the later rounds, in our fifth or sixth picks. So something to keep an eye on. But Jonah Jackson, Ohio State, and we're off to the next one. I got a couple more here for you guys, and then we can hopefully start making plans to watch this draft. All right, we're up to number 3. We have Derek Tuska out of North Dakota State. You better smoke him if you got him. I'm only playing. Anyway, really good player. I've been talking about Derek Tuska for probably a month now. 6'4", 250 pounds. Really just like the player. Just has got a great motor. Scouts really like him. 24 in the bench press. On the 40, he did a 4.79, fairly fast. Really like him. Good athlete. Like I said, a lot of intangibles, and you can check him out. I really like the player a lot. So, with that said, his name's Tuska, Derek Tuska, pronounced Tuska. And he's been one of the reasons for the Bison's recent run of an FCS title. So, in 9 seasons, he's had a strong senior year, leading the team in its 3rd straight title as the first team Associated Press All-American and Missouri Valley Football Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Like that a lot. 48 tackles. Led the team with 19 tackles for loss and 13 and a half sacks. Now, we're looking at production. He's not a big name, but he's a guy that can really help us on the defensive end. He's 250 pounds. By no means is he a big defensive end, but I really feel like he's a player that's going to be able to help us tremendously. So it's a name to really remember. Derek Tuska. He's hard-nosed. He's physical in a 4-3 base. I know we might be playing more of the 3-4, but we'll see where that goes. They also said, Judge talked about being very versatile on that end. He's got really good strength. I mean, if you look at his tape, he makes play after play after play. The guy really has a really good motor. He does lack a little length and explosiveness, but it really wasn't an issue, to be honest with you. But he's a solid player. You might see some of that explosive maybe exploited but in the NFL by tackles, but we'll see. Like I said, depending on where we can get this player, I like him. He's a sleeper. He's a guy that I feel is going to do very, very well in the pros. He posted 29 and a half sacks as a 3-year starter. He's very skilled with his hands as a rusher. He showed an ability to dominate his level of competition. And he uses a well-timed bull rush. You'll see it on a lot of his tape, just to try and catch people off balance. So he might have an offensive tackle maybe just going a little in the wrong direction, and you'll see him use this bull rush and just knock the guy over. It's it's a nice move. And I think he'll be able to use it in the pros as well. His weakness is really he could struggle with massive jump in competition as a pro. That's with everybody on this list because, there's guys that dominate college and they go to the pros and they are out of the league. Trent Richardson's an example. Just gone. Can't cut it. Not the same level of competition. He does not have good arm length as an edge worker. That's more, how scouts are. They're always going to look for every little nick and cranny that's wrong with you. But he doesn't have great arm length. But he does have the numbers, and he does get to the quarterback, and that's what I care about. Does the guy get to the quarterback, or does he not? I don't care about his arm length. I don't care about his hand size. I don't care about that he watches cartoons, 7 days a week, in the morning. I don't care about any of those things. I care about one thing. Can the guy play football? Period. But he has a hard time on getting rid of blocks when they seem to stick to him. And he's below average in change of direction. So that's really his negatives. But I'm going to post all this so you guys can take a look at it. And Derek Tuska. There we go. All right, next up, number 4, I believe, right? Justin Sternad. Here we go. Justin is a linebacker, right? Linebacker out of Wake Forest. He's also from Palm Harbor, Florida, which isn't far from where I used to live. Really good player here, guys. This is a guy who played a lot of special teams his first few years at Wake Forest. He is a hard-hitting linebacker. He is a heat-seeking missile out of the linebacker position. He's 6'3", 238 pounds, and he ran a 7.4 at the combine. So on his 40-yard dash. Guy can move. He definitely can move. He's a big boy. His last name is pronounced Sternad. He just pulled off a strange double as sophomore with the Demon Deacons. He led the team with 3 interceptions and also had 10 special team tackles. He did not start any of the 13 games he played. This is at a sophomore. But he still managed 51 tackles, 8.5 for loss, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and the 3 picks. Obviously, that's his player bio, and it goes through, obviously. You can read them. I'm posting it. You guys can probably take a look at it as I'm speaking. And pretty much his overview is pretty simple. He's very tall. He's a puffed-up safety, really. But he also likes to run. So he really can run down. He has the ability to run down sideline to sideline. He also played very, very good in coverage. I watched his tape, and he was really, really good in coverage. This is a guy that, from time to time, appeared to just really, really get after the football. He just constantly would stick to their running back coming out of the backfield. Also, they even put him on the slot guy a few times, and he played very well. So I'm really interested to see how he plays in the pros. This is a guy to keep your eye on. He's projected at round 4. Justin Sternad, keep an eye on him. He's my riser. I think he's going to be a really good pro, and I think he is looking at like 4th round or so. I can't see him going later than the 5th, but he's a guy that we should definitely look at. Justin Sternad, let's get it. Linebacker, Wake Forest. You heard it here first. Peace. All right, my last guy that I got for you guys is a cornerback out of Georgia Southern. He is also from Georgia himself. His name is Kendall Vildor, and his height is 5'10", weight 191 pounds. Guy is a stud. Love this guy. He ran a 4.4 at the combine, 20-something on the bench press. Pretty good for a cornerback. And all his combine numbers looked really good. Pretty much, this is a cornerback that could start for us right from day one. He is not in. As you look at his tape, one thing just jumps out at me. Not a great tackler. This guy just doesn't want to tackle. Doesn't like very often. Not something I'm really excited about, but he is a cover corner. And if they can get him to get more involved tackling, you might really have something here. I mean, how hard is it to get a guy motivated to tackle? Maybe if he's making, he's making some money. Maybe he's not worried about trying to get drafted. Maybe he doesn't want to put his body on the line. Maybe there's some other reasons for it. I don't know. Either way, it's jumped out at me as I'm watching this tape going, this guy just doesn't want to tackle. Just didn't want to tackle, guys. It's that simple. Time and time again, he had a route where he could have just popped somebody, and he didn't do it. So, he's definitely on a lot of people's radar. He is a really good cover corner, a guy at the end of the draft. You don't see too many guys like this that are sliding because they all know he doesn't really like to tackle. I think that's his biggest knock. And if you can get that out of him, I think you really have something. If you can get rid of that tackling issue, you have something. The guy is a beast on at everything else. He played nickel. He played outside. I mean, he played everywhere. Guy has a lot of potential. He's looking at he's projected right now as a round 5 selection. He could move up. I think he has a lot of talent. He just, I want to say he's got average speed, but he is. He does. He's got average speed, but it's towards the back end of it. I would say that he's got good athletic ability. He's got a really good cover talent, and he plays with balance and his body control. He's not very off balance when he's going against receivers. He's got adequate footwork. It could use a little work. I didn't see too many plays where he was really off balance or his footwork looked really bad. His release sometimes he was a little off balance when he was releasing, but that was about it. But he's got long arms, he's got big hands. He's got good hips. He's got good acceleration to the ball, especially he communicates really well with his safeties. You can see time and time again he's giving hand signals, talking to his safeties, knows exactly where he's going, talks a lot on the field. He flashes bursts, and he kind of plays a little cat and mouse a little bit with quarterbacks. You can see him fall off receivers just so that the quarterback sees him and he knows he's going to hit him, because he knows he can make up the ground and maybe make a pick, and that's what he does. I didn't see one time where he did that little cat and mouse game where he got beat yet. But I don't know if that's going to be different with pro arms. It could be. But he's going to have to figure that out on his own. But he finds a lot of quality angles to the ball. But he plays with good bend, lateral change direction. He's able to change direction in space very quickly. His weaknesses, I got a couple of them. He, for the most part, he looks quicker than fast on tape. He's just pretty much average when he's recovering against speedsters down the field. He can't. If a guy's got him by 15 yards down the field, not when he's playing that cat and mouse game, but if they got him 15 yards down the field, he's not catching him. Or 15 feet, mind you. He's not even coming close to him. That guy is gone. He doesn't have that type of speed to make up for mistakes that top corners can do. He just doesn't possess that. And he sits back and waits for the train to hit him in the running game. He does not come up and pop you. He literally, you would see time and time again, he would run to the running back and he would realize, and he would get crushed by a running back. I don't know. He's going to have to figure that part out. It was very weird watching his tape on runs. It was almost like he just didn't want any part of it. So, and he would be willing to let a tackle happen. There would be other cornerback or a safety coming up with him, and he would let that guy make the tackle instead of him. Really strange. He just didn't play with the same level of anticipation that he did the previous year. You could see the previous year he was more willing to go hit a running back. He was more willing to go and pop somebody. In his last year of college football, because I knew he was going to the draft, it's like he played like he didn't want to get hurt. He played scared. Honestly, that's where he's projected, is in the 5th round. That's my 5 guys. Let's see if any of them get to the Giants. It'd be pretty cool. But that's what I got for you guys. I hope everybody has a great draft day out there. Please subscribe. Please show me some love. This is one of the funnest things I like to do. And I like to grow this channel with you guys, because if you guys don't help me, I'm nothing without you. So thanks again. Thanks for liking my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Show me some love. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody watches the draft and we have a lot of fun. Thanks a lot.